Alright, welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D. This time with 4-star Doc Ock, Alfred Molina. We got, we're facing off against Infinity War Spider-Man, which again makes sense because the trailers and I'm not going to say anything else about the movie, but this version of Spider-Man, if you remember, he makes web tiles anytime he makes a match in his colors. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, like I mentioned before, I got interrupted. Anytime he makes a match, he makes web tiles on the board, and then also too, if he takes a certain amount of damage, he'll remove those web tiles. Or, well, at least remove half the web tiles and have a reduced amount of damage. His green ability will create web tiles on the board, and it will lock some tiles on the board, special tiles, in fact. And then red costs 10, and it does target damage based on the number of web tiles that's on the board. And this is one of those uncapped abilities, meaning there's no upper limit as to how much damage he does. And now we got Doc Ock. This will be the first time I'm looking at him and his abilities, so we'll break it down on a level. So call to arms costs 9. It's both a passive and an active. So passively, whenever we make a match in any of his colors, create a tentacle tile in that color, and then at the start of the turn, remove all enemy special tiles that share colors with friendly tentacle tiles. And so that's the passive version. So an example would be if we make a black match and Battery Bill happens to have a black protect tile on the board, it'll remove that black protect tile or any black protect tiles that happen to be on that color. Or if you match it with, or if we happen to match it with blue, it'll be a blue tile. Now the only tiles that it won't remove web tiles, because web tiles are considered neutral tiles. Alright, and then the active ability is that shuffle the board, deal damage to the enemy team for each color of tentacle tile, friendly tentacle tile that's on the board, and then remove all friendly tentacle tiles. Alright, Mind of Their Own is both an active and a passive that costs 6. The passive, if a friendly tentacle tile shares a color with another, one of them will remake itself into an adjacent basic tile that doesn't share a color with other friendly tentacle tiles, and if one does, you deal damage. So think along the lines of the enemy goons. It's like where they'll take and they'll move a tile and it'll go up, down, left, or right, and it will either destroy or overwrite, whatever tile happens to be on the board. So in this case here, it'll go to a different basic tile, and if a tentacle tile doesn't exist on that tile there, it'll create one on that color, and then actively choose a pair of basic tiles to swap and convert them to tentacle tiles. Alright, and then let's see here at level 6, level 5, it's convert, choose a pair of strike, attack, or protect tiles and convert them to tentacle tiles, which is good. I would definitely have that at 5. Call to Arms, I think I probably would have at 3, because again, it doesn't really, like, the board shuffle is cool, but but the other portions of the passive, that's gonna activate anyways. And then Unbound Potential, cost 7. Choose a non-yellow tile, so it could be a non-yellow tile that has protect tile or enemy special tile or friendly special tile. Gain 4 AP in that tile's color, and then you restore health, and then you give a burst health to Doc allies. And then if there's a friendly tentacle tile in that color, then you gain 2 extra AP. So let's break this here down. Choose anything other than yellow, you gain 4 AP in that color. So if you're using Shang-Chi, for example, and you choose red or purple, boom, there you go. And then if you happen to have a tentacle tile in whatever color that you chose, then you gain 2 more AP. So again, I could see some shenanigans with Shang-Chi. Alright, so that's the breakdown with Doc Ock. Alright, let's see here. We're gonna go with yellow, get this match here. Alright. There's his quick reflexes. See, there's the damage from Spider-Man. Or I should say, not really the damage from Spider-Man. It's really more of the avoidance of damage from Spider-Man. Alright. Let's see, where do I want to go? Let me go black. Then I'm gonna pop a heal real quick. I'll pop the heal momentarily. I'm so used to Doc Ock having a green ability. Alright, let's go blue. Gain some AP in that. Yeah, that was actually kind of straightforward with Doc Ock, to say the least. Like, you use his powers to get some sort of a board shake to go, and then go from there. Alright, now here, just going a one-on-one situation. Who do I want? Someone that we can showcase off. I guess 4-star Deadpool. Well, yeah, 4-star Deadpool, because I haven't done my Deadpool nonsense yet. And plus 5-star Deadpool really would work because stuns aren't allowed. Take one for the team. Alright, countdown for what? I'm devious. Ooh, Doc Ock. Moving all my special tiles on the board. Oh well, I still got a plan, and it'll work. It'll work, it'll work. I can see Doc Ock being stupidly annoying in PvE, and well, not really PvE, but for some, jeez. Well, looks like it's time to go to option B. Try and gather up as much red as I can. Alright, Deadpool will survive. Barely. And I do mean barely. So yeah, so that's, I mean, not necessarily a hard counter to Deadpool, but I mean, it'll work. Alright, so for the first one, looks like we got Dakin again. We'll bring in 3-star Deadpool. Dakin, I'll just make it simple, because again, we've used him several times in Welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D. Purple, he creates strike tiles anytime either team matches green. His black ability allows him to heal. Depends on how many blue tiles are on the board. If you have less than whatever the recommended blue tiles are needed for him to heal, he'll lose health. And then finally, his blue ability, Chemical Reaction, costs 5, destroys some number of strike tiles that are for the friendly team, and does damage based on the number of strike tiles that were destroyed. Relatively simple. He feeds his 3-star version, which is what his original version actually was, the 2-star version. The 2-star version originally made 2 strike tiles per turn, but then because, you know, the quote-unquote lazy versions of the characters came in, you get a lesser equipped version. Show your stuff, Quicksilver. I gotta do a quick breakdown of him. Alright, Quicksilver, his black ability is a board swap. I mean, not a board swap, but a tile swap. That costs 7, but can get cheaper depending upon how many lock tiles are on the board, and it's like I said, you can swap 2 basic tiles on the board. You can use that there to make matches. His blue ability, anytime either team makes a blue match, he creates a lock tile, and if there are at least 4 lock tiles on the board, whenever either team makes a blue match, you remove those locks from the tiles, and then you do damage to the enemy team. Also, too, the lock tiles themselves can't be can't be matched away, or I should say you can't use them to slide down for a match because the tile is locked in place. And then also too, the blue ability also makes both green and black's ability significantly cheaper, depending upon the lock, depending upon how many lock tiles you have. And then finally, you have his green ability. His green ability, it costs 9, but it can get a little bit cheaper, and it will create a lock tile on the board and do target damage to the opponent. So as you can see, with Quicksilver, you want to make as many blue matches as you possibly can. If you can get black and green to quickly get get those lock tiles on the board or make matches with blue, then you'll you'll succeed. Again, probably won't waste too much time in this here. First time I've seen the way to measure the animation, to be honest with you. Oh well. Because again, granted, I don't play with animations on at all, so. Alright. Toughen up. Now, again, if you're probably wondering, like, well, why in the world am I not taking the time out to break down the nodes? The nodes are pretty much the same. So, if you want a deeper breakdown of how each one of the nodes works, you can watch one of the previous videos. But again, the nodes are the same. It's just the characters are going to be a little bit different. So here we got Quake. Remember the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh my goodness, I was about to say her purple ability. No, that's Coulson and Mockingbird and Nick Fury that have those colors. Her green ability costs 11. It's a team effect move. What I mean by team effect move, I mean it does team damage. It's a team damage move that shakes up the board, but it doesn't set up any matches when the board settles. So what I mean is this: if you use 5-star, God Emperor Doom, and you use his yellow ability to shake the board up, there's a chance that cascades can happen. Whereas if you use it with Quake, the board will be just like a empty board, so to speak. Or I should say, it'll be just like if you're just loading into a match. Her yellow ability prevents any team damage done to the team up to a certain amount. And then finally her blue ability, Resonance Frequency, it costs 7. It removes a chosen tile color. So if you happen to choose green, it will remove some number of green tiles on the board. Again, the levels depend upon where you have her blue chosen at. Okay. And the main persons I used to use Quake with, I used to use her with Immortal Hulk and Okoye until Electro came into the fray, in which Electro is literally the 5-star version of Quake. Alright, and we'll use a 4-star. Since I mentioned Coulson, let's bring Coulson into the fight. Why not? I really hate rabbit. I mean, I really hate mutation. I really do. So thank you, Doc Ock, for moving all those tentacle tiles. I gotta get rid of this green ASAP. Oh, no. We'll just make. Oh, hell. No, because I want to make the yellow match here to get rid of that. So that I can at least have that. Then get rid of the green. I know we're leaving critical tiles on the board, but frankly, it's okay. Because again, Doc Ock is removing all these special tiles, so. Alright, at least it's on purple. Let's get rid of him next. Pyro's pretty much at a low enough health that frankly doesn't matter what I do, she will be eliminated pretty quickly. I don't know why it says it like that. Alright, let's choose green so we can get Quake's board shake online. Get rid of almost everybody. Or get rid of everybody, whatever the case might be. Because I wasn't quite sure was it enough, and I keep forgetting that it usually is. Alright, finally test the skill node. Let's see who we have. Ronan the Accuser. Okay, well I have a 1/1/1 Ronan. So this is gonna be fun, to say the least. Alright, so Judgment Call is a passive ability. At the start of the turn, if one doesn't exist, create a 3-turn fortified countdown tile that targets a random enemy. And is this here something similar to, oh my goodness, Valkyrie's black ability, the Bounty Hunter. So whoever the enemy that is targeted, you have to switch to them. Ronin's matches against that enemy deal 100% more damage, and matches against any other enemies deal 30% less damage. And then when the Judgment Call tile expires, you deal the listed damage to that enemy. Alright, Swift Hammer of Justice costs 8. Ronin deals damage to the target and then additional damage to any enemies that deal damage to Ronin during the last turn. And if all enemies happen to damage Ronin, then this effect here can apply. If all enemies were damaged by this power, then you destroy a random 3x3 block. But the tiles don't generate AP, but they deal damage. Very rarely will you be able to get this one here off unless it's like a one-on-one situation, and then yeah, you'll be able to Swift Hammer of Justice pretty convincingly. And then an Uncompromising Power, which is actually one of the cooler abilities, you create a 2 random 2-turn repeater tiles for 6 blue AP. When the repeater tiles reach 0, they replicate on the board on a basic random tile. And if you make a match or destroy one of those tiles, you deal damage based on the number of Uncompromising Power tiles that are on the board. So if you happen to have half the board with those tiles there, and you happen to match 3 of them. So it's a 64 board tile. Subtract 3. It's a 3 from 32 is 29. So 29 times that there, yeah, it can get disgusting. So you're probably wondering like, well, what do I do? It's like you don't match the tiles. You literally don't match the tiles. You let them replicate a little bit, and then start to match the tiles. So, a person I would probably bring in with Ronin to make sure that his uncompromising power, I mean, it's uncompromising power, but his black ability goes up a lot sooner. Yeah, Agent Coulson. So, no boost, no nothing. Let's see who we're talking. Analyst, okay. You have been accused. Alright, so you're targeting analyst again. Now again, this is completely random, so there goes those uncompromising tiles there. Go to green. Get the match 5 going. Get more damage going. And then, as you can see, that the fortification happened because Coulson, because of his, oh my goodness, the support that he has, because he'll occasionally fortify tiles. Alright, Assassin, let's get him. I really don't want to get rid of those mine of their own tiles. Not yet anyways. You have been accused. More uncompromising power. Now again, that was just randomly that I happened to pick him. But one thing that you can do with Ronin is like to maximize the number of uncompromising powers that you get on the board is to alternate firing them every other turn. So if you have uncompromising power active now and you have tiles on the board, use them then. So like I said, every other turn when you get ready to either match away the tiles or make sure the tiles are still on the board, you can go and keep them on the board that way. Alright, so that's going to end the Welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D. portion of this, but we do have the Doc Ock and foes, so you get, as per usual, your legendary tokens, a couple basic support tokens, your featured character, Doc Ock in a random color, as well as Quake and Legion. Then, you know, your, oh my goodness, your mighty tokens, your heroic tokens, random assorted 3-star characters and 2-star characters, as well as isolate. So let's go ahead and pull these two here, see if we get lucky and get Doc Ock. If not, well, I'll have him tomorrow as a reward from playing playing the most recent event. And also too, if you want more Doc Ock action, his PvP event is up. A love 8 relationship. So that's gonna end this video here. We got day 2 of Welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D. coming up tomorrow.